James Clerk Maxwell was born on June 13, 1831 at 14 India Street in Edinburgh, Scotland. Having a keen intellect from childhood, he had one of his geometry papers presented at the Royal Society of Edinburgh during his adolescence. By 16, he enrolled at the University of Edinburgh, pursuing a fervent interest in optics and color research. He studied there for 3 years and eventually attended Cambridge University Trinity College, graduating in 1854. After teaching at Trinity for a time, Maxwell moved on to Marshall College as part of the physics faculty. He wed Catherine Mary Dewar in 1858. While at Marshall, Maxwell pondered a major astronomical question, looking at the case of Saturn and coming up with the idea that the planet's rings are composed of particles, a theory later confirmed via 20th century space probes. For this, Maxwell received the Adam Prize.
On Mariscal becoming part of the University of Aberdeen, Maxwell took on a professor position at King's College in London. He taught there until 1865 when he resigned from his post to do research from his home in Glenlair. Having continued to do work with Cambridge University as well, Maxwell was instrumental in helping to establish the institution Cavendish Laboratory, and he took on roles there as lab director and professor of experimental physics at the start of the 1870s. The next pioneer in electromagnetism, Maxwell had continued his research on color and made groundbreaking discoveries around gas velocity. It was during Maxwell's time at King's College that he began to share revolutionary ideas around electromagnetism and light.
Fellow physicist Michael Faraday had already championed the notion that electricity and magnetic were connected. Maxwell, via experimentation with vortexes, expanded on Faraday's work and came up with the theory of electromagnetic movement being conceptualized in the form of waves, with side energy traveling at light speed. Maxwell equation supporting his theorems. Maxwell equation. Speaking the scholar's aptitude in using maths to articulate scientific occurrences were found in the paper Dynamical Theory of the Electromagnetic Field, presented to the Royal Society of London in 1864 and published the following year. In 1873, he published the book A Treatise on Electricity and Magnetism, which further expounded on his research.
Other scientific contributions included producing the first color photographs taken in 1861 and creating structural engineering calculation for bridge maintenance. He earned an array of awards over the course of his career, including the Rumford Medal, Cat Prize, and Hopkins Prize, in addition to receiving memberships in groups like the Royal Academy of Sciences of Amsterdam. Other publications included Theory of Heat, 1871, and Matter and Motion, 1877. Death and Legacy. James C. Maxwell died in Cambridge, England on November 5, 1879, from abdominal cancer. His discoveries paved the way for much of the modern world's technological innovation and continued to influence physics well into the next century, with thinkers like Albert Einstein praising him for his indispensable contribution. Maxwell's original house, now a museum, is the site of the famous clock.
Thank you for watching. Semoga bermanfaat.
Mendapat nilai bagus.
Semoga Bu Rida senang.
Kita bahagia.
1, 2, 3.
Ini untukmu, ini untukmu, ini untukmu, ini untukmu. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.